You are listening to Two Dudes Talking Cougs, a podcast by BYU fans for BYU fans. Just two dudes talking Cougs.
Welcome to Two Dudes Talking Cougs. I'm your host, Jarrett Webster. I'm here with my co-host,
Jason Webster.
Let's talk some Cougs, Tace. All right. What do we always do? We start with State of the Cougs.
Yep, State of the Cougs.
Then we'll hit up Keys to Victory.
And then Cougar Cap.
Cougar Cap. Then we're going to hit Cougar Chaos and a new segment.
The Cougar Tail.
Cougar Tail. So
You'll find out what that is.
You'll have to stick around.
Yep.
Okay, Tace, State of the Cougs. Hit us with it.
We just destroyed TCU. Honestly, destroyed is maybe an understatement. We're playing Cincinnati at Cincinnati this week in football, obviously. And if we beat them and we beat UCF, we're going to the Big 12 Championship. Basketball just lost to UCONN by 2 points. Made a comeback, but then we just came up short and we lost by 2, which I feel like that's pretty good early in the season for a BYU team, because usually early in the season we kind of struggle. But other than that, our basketball team is really good. Football's really good. Women's soccer is in the second round. I don't even know much about any of the other sports.
What do you know about their goalie? You know that she's like a psychopath.
Yeah, their goal.
Just kidding.
The goalie, she just smiles. She reminds me of Will.
Yeah, it was like Will Ferrin before kicking the field goal against Utah. But really, actually, I call her psychopath, but really I don't mean that. She's awesome. That's someone who's prepared and is enjoying the moment, win or lose. That like you prepare your whole life for that type of moment.
Yeah, like you're in that moment.
That you got to have that. That should be fun. That should be.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, get really tense and tight and scared, and she just was loving it. That was awesome. Number 11 in the college football playoff poll.
Yeah. Number 9 in basketball, I think, right? Because we dropped two spots.
College football playoff committee is a joke. You can lose to Florida State, who's terrible.
Yep.
You can have terrible losses like Miami and still be at 13.
You can have not very good wins, and
Oregon's best win is 6-4 Iowa.
Which
we beat 6-4 Iowa State, who beat 6-4 Iowa. Their best win. So our worst best win, TCU, would be
as good.
Maybe. Would be as good as Oregon is as good as their best win. They're both 6-4. TCU 6-4. Iowa 6-4.
Yeah.
Iowa State 6-4.
Maybe.
But that's Oregon's. That's the only team that Oregon has beaten with a winning record.
That's true.
I have some issues with the rankings. I think that there's a real argument to be made that we should be ahead of Notre Dame and Oregon and potentially Alabama. You can convince me that Alabama's wins are really good, because they are. But then that's a glaring loss when they lost to Florida State, and that's a really, really, really bad loss.
At that time, what are you doing?
I'm just shaking.
Okay. At that time, that was like a loss that was okay, but honestly, Florida State has not turned out to be the team that everybody thought they were going to be.
Well, they thought they were going to be that because they beat Alabama, and then they did nothing else after that and have been terrible.
Yep.
Also, I think something to contemplate is Utah has lost to the team that's ranked just ahead of them.
Yep.
And that is ranked number 5. So it's like, hey, those are quality losses.
Yep.
BYU has lost to the number 5 team, and no one else. And we're ranked right ahead of them.
Yep.
So let's do a little mind game here. Let's do a little pretend, make-believe scenario. Let's say BYU had 2 losses, and let's say that they had lost to
Utah.
No, let's say they had lost to the team right ahead of them, Alabama.
Okay.
So let's pick a team right there, right?
Yep.
And let's then say they lost to the number 5 team, would they be ranked number 11 and ahead of Utah? No, they would not. They would be behind Utah after having still beaten Utah in the head-to-head. The for some reason, the Utah's, the whole thing, where they have BYU and Utah is in this weird... I think Utah is a good team, and maybe he probably deserves to be number 12. They do. But I think that BYU probably should be slotted up 2 or 3 spots.
If Utah's 12, then we should definitely be, further.
And everyone's going to say, just win your games. But, the problem is not everyone has to just win their games, apparently.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's enough of that. State of the Cougs. Basketball, good job bouncing back after a rough first half. Really wish the refs would have called the second half. Called the first half the same way they called the second half.
They called the first half.
We couldn't buy fouls for a long time there in that first half as we're driving to the basket. Reggie's getting slapped.
And then every time
AJ's getting smacked.
Every time we drive to the basket in the second half, we either score or we get fouled.
And then AJ started drawing the fouls and it changed the game, and we got in the bonus with 12 minutes left in the half. So we got a good team, and that was without Kaba and without Kennard Davis, who we probably will be without for an indefinite amount of time. So the team will figure that out. The news is that Kaba Keita is kind of on a day-to-day situation. I'd be shocked if he plays against Wisconsin this week. Who knows, though, but I think that he's probably another week away. We're in a stretch where they play one game in 12 days, and so the one game is the Wisconsin game, and then we have another longer break, and then we're about to play a bunch more.
Yeah, we play Miami after that, I think.
So let's put the ball away while we 2 dudes in a coup. Okay. Keys to victory, Tace. Let's start with basketball. What do you think?
Who do we play? Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
Just play like we did against UCONN, except for don't. We'll play like we did against UCONN in the second half, not the first half.
Yeah, I think key to the victory is to kind of continue the progression that we've started to see with rotations. I think there's still a lot of feeling that out, especially if Kaba doesn't play, especially without Kennard. There's going to be a new mix-up in who goes in, when, and with what groups and rotations. And so I think key to victory is finding those groups that work well together. And I think another key is going to be Richie's got to get out of his little bit of a slump he's in from 3. Still scored, I think, 17 against UConn. But was 0 for 6, I think, from 3. So he'll need to hit threes. As a team, I'll say another key to the victory will be not starting 1 for 10 or 1 for 12 or 0 for 9 from 3. We got to start quicker from 3. And then the last key I'll give is AJ being an alpha and just go get it.
AJ has been our best player this year, probably.
Okay, Tace, keys to victory against Cincinnati.
I don't know. Just probably have defense. Defense needs to travel like they usually do. Offense, we need to just run the ball a lot. Get on the middle, I think. I think the passing game could open up if we get one pretty long play. And if that does, then I think we should still run the ball, but passing, we should look for that. And then I think we just need to not let them score, I'll say 24. 24 or less wins us the game, I think.
Okay. I'll say defensively, we've got to stop the run early, so we force them to pass more. Their quarterback, Sorsby, is really good runner and passer, runner and thrower, although I think he's dinged up. We'll see what the reports say. We'll see how he looks on Saturday, obviously, but last week against Arizona, he was hobbling. He was limping, really noticeably. And I don't think that he's wanting to run very much right now. but he can. So we got to stop the run, make him throw. He's a really good thrower still, but where he struggles. So if we can stop the run and then we can play man coverage, he struggles against man coverage primarily because his receivers struggle to create lots of any separation. And so that's going to be a key is if we can get into those types of situations where we can run man and run it effectively. Number 2, BYU's run game, like Taysom said, I think it's another key. If we can get it going, it doesn't have to be amazing. What ran for 150 against TCU, I think that's a number. If we can get to that number again, LJ looked a lot better, and so I think he ended up high 80s, maybe close to in the 90s, but we kind of had shut that down, and we were calling plays to just get through the game and win the game. So he could have had another 100-yard game last week. That's the point. Cincinnati plays a similar defense to Iowa State. It's 3-3-5. Dante Corleone's their middleman, where Iowa State has Big Citrus in the middle, defensive tackle. Dante Corleone, he's really good. He's actually had not a great year this year, though. And so what I look to is that second half against Iowa State where we really picked things up offensively and they couldn't stop us. Hopefully that's what you start to see. So anyway, so there's some keys and some thoughts on this week's game. I will also say starting fast like we did against TCU would be really appreciated, not waiting to the end. Arizona, though, did start really slow, and I think they were down 14-0 against Cincinnati, at Cincinnati last week, and they ended up coming back and winning. So it's possible against the Cincinnati team. But I think a fast start and you kind of just go assert some dominance, I think goes a long way to just establishing and saying, hey, we're going to control this game. Another interesting fact is that Cincinnati's offense does not possess the ball. They're either scoring really fast or punting really fast. They hold on to the ball. They don't turn the ball over very often. They're number 1 and we're number 2 in amount of turnovers we've lost for the season. I think they've lost 9 and we've lost 10. So obviously in any game, a turnover, who wins the turnover battle is going to be critical. But they do this weird thing where they're either scoring really fast or punting really fast, and they're one of the worst teams at possessing the ball, which is an interesting thing when you look at BYU, where that's what we want to do. We want to possess the ball, we want to run the ball and control the clock, and so that will be interesting to see how that plays out. Okay, Tace, Coug or Cap? Bear Bachmeier will break the record for most rushing touchdowns in a season by a quarterback this week. He needs 1.
He needs 1? Oh. Then Coug.
So Taysom's saying he's going to get 1 rushing touchdown.
Yes.
He's tied for the lead in the nation for most games with a rushing and passing touchdown.
Oh.
7 games he's done that. And there's only 2 other quarterbacks, I think. Okay, Tace. Coug or Cap? BYU will shoot higher than 38% as a team for 3 against Wisconsin.
I don't know. That's so hard. I want to say Coug, but how we've been performing, it feels like Cap. Honestly, I'm just going to say Cap just because of the way we've been performing. Okay. I want it to be Coug, but I'm going to say Cap.
Okay. Coug or Cap, Tace? LJ Martin has a 100-yard game.
I'm going to say Coug.
Coug. If he has a 100-yard game, we are winning.
We're winning.
I don't think he has to have 100 for us to win. He didn't against TCU, and things went well.
Yeah, really well.
But if he has 100 with play action, I think with Kingston and Chase. I also think we saw this thing with Parker Kingston where he missed a lot of summer camp, and the first few games he was pretty rough.
Yeah.
And then the last several weeks he's been awesome.
He's been like your guy.
And JoJo has been out.
There's something wrong with his hands.
JoJo's been out. In the first game, Texas Tech, he looked rough. Last game, he had another drop, but he also had a couple catches.
Yeah.
So he's kind of started to get back into the rhythm. And I see some similarities to the trajectory that Parker Kingston's season started at. So again, I'm not expecting him to be and do what Parker Kingston has done, because Parker Kingston's been amazing, scored lots of touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I think if we see another jump from him, and you can have Chase and you have JoJo and you have Parker, I think we've got the weapons. So, Coug or Cap, AJ scores over 20 points against Wisconsin. Coug, that was a fast Coug. All right, that brings us to...
Wait, we got to go over one thing. Last week I said Coug, and I thought Bear Bachner was barely going to get to 250. Honestly, if they kept him in and they gave him one more pass attempt, he would have gotten to 300.
Yeah.
So.
We kind of throttled that back, huh? Okay, let's go, Taste, to Cougar Chaos. Here's the Cougar Chaos that we can share. It's 11:30 p.m. on Saturday night. BYU's already winning 44-13. All the old rich people in the stadium have already left. And what we learned is that those people make zero noise.
Honestly, I think they make negative noise.
Negative noise, Taysom says, because TCU had the ball, 3rd and short, and they run it up the middle with their quarterback, and Nusi Tamopeau stops their quarterback. Boom. Now it's 4th and short, and the stadium got louder at that moment on the 4th and short than it had been the whole game.
Yep.
False start. And then the crowd gets that loud again. False start.
Louder.
And then we're going crazy now, and it's as loud as it's been all night. And I'm telling you, there were a lot of fans there, but if you've been to the Edwards Stadium, you know where the rich people sit on the east side. That place was empty. And the rest of us, though, that place was loud. And then Nusi sacked to end the game.
Yep.
Cougar Chaos.
That's the actual chaos right there.
Yeah. Interesting note. I was looking the Cincinnati Stadium. I think they talk about it gets loud there, and they're really into it. So it'll be a good atmosphere. We'll see how many BYU fans have been able to sneak their way into there and get tickets. But its capacity 40,000.
Wow, that is so small.
About 12,000 less than Rice Eccles, and like 24,000, almost 25,000
That is so small.
Than Lavelle.
That is so small.
So, okay. Let's talk about a cougar tail. I have one if you don't have one.
I don't have one.
Okay.
I can't think of one.
Here's a cougar tail. It's an oldie but a goodie. Talk about our beloved head coach, Kalani, and where he gets, he's been instilled with his just work ethic and genuine nature. His dad, Tom, was working at a place, and there had been some layoffs. And Tom was a janitor / cleaning crew, and he came in at night after everyone had gone, and the place is destroyed because everyone was mad that there was layoffs and had gotten fired, and it's just destroyed. And as they would go and they would clean up things, he would say, "This is so and so, who sat here," and he knew who they all were, knew their names, knew their family, knew their story, and he was telling his kids would come with him to help him work, and so he'd tell his kids and say his last day was today, he got fired today. And then they'd go to the next place, and they're cleaning up, and they'd say, "This is where so-and-so sat, and this is his story." And Tom knew these people. And then at the end of the night, the place is all clean. Took him a long time that night because it was destroyed, And then Papa Satake takes his badge off and his keys and leaves it on the desk. And his kids are like, "What's going on?" And he says, "Today was Dad's last day at work." He also had been laid off, but he came in to do his job one last time, cleaned the place up, and left it better than it was. And that's the kind of guy Kalani is. That's the kind of program Kalani's building. You talk about the connections and knowing people's stories and knowing people. I know several people who have had, chance encounters with Kalani at restaurants or here or there. And he talks to them like he knows them, like he's their best friend, like they are his best friend. In fact, my brother was at a restaurant. Kalani was there with his family, and his wife had to come and grab him and say, "Hey, maybe come and sit with us now." And speak. and just because he wants to just be friends with everyone, and he wants to get to know everyone, and that's the culture and the atmosphere that he's created at BYU, and why kids want to go there is there's a genuine, when he says love and learn, it's that you're going to be loved and you're going to love and you're going to feel that love. So it comes from partially, at least, and in large measure, I would say, from his dad. There you go, Cougar Tail. All right, everyone, I think that Tastes, you got anything else for us?
No, I'm just gonna say that, speaking of that, I got tickets to the Kalani Sasaki show 2 times. I don't remember what times it were. But after the show, you can go get pictures and signatures. And the past 2 times I've gone, I don't even know Kalani personally, at all. He just gives me a big hug. He gives everybody a big hug anytime he sees anyone.
Yeah, true. It's great to be a Coug. Go Cougs.
Just 2 dudes talking Cougs.